Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be letting you shop my high-end makeup stash. I recently did a drugstore version of this, which I will have linked down below if you guys didn't get a chance to see that. But on Instagram stories, I took you guys through my entire high-end collection category by category, and I had you guys kind of look at what I had and then submit what you would like to see me use. I just feel like that's kind of the direction of where I want my videos to go a little bit more this year, as far as shopping my stash a little bit more and digging into the things that I don't necessarily always get the chance to use in videos and in real life. So I hope you guys are excited. Let's just get right into it. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my Instagram really quick. Alright, so first things first, we have primers. This is my primer drawer. It's very messy and disorganized. I'm going to go ahead and look at all the responses, and how I did it in the drugstore video was I just kind of scrolled randomly and selected completely randomly. So let's go ahead and see what primer we want to use. I'm going to give it a good scroll. Okay, that was kind of in between. I landed on Jen Holland, who said Fenty in the bottom right corner. I believe that that's the matte primer because I have the hydrating primer sitting somewhere else. So let me go grab that really quick. Okay, yeah, the Fenty primer in the bottom right corner was the Soft Matte Pro Filter Primer. It has been so long since I've used this. I've definitely used the hydrating one a little bit more. I'm gonna take about 3 pumps, which I know seems like kind of a lot, but I'm just going to go ahead and apply this all over the skin to prep. And I might hop around a little bit today. I think I'm going to do brows and concealer, and then I'm going to move into eyeshadow just because I usually do my eyes first when I'm feeling like doing something a little more glam, and I definitely feel like doing something a little more glam today. So this primer feels really, really nice on the skin. I like how it has a little bit of a mattifying finish, but it's not super drying or super heavy on the skin. It still moisturizes, which is something I really, really enjoy. Okay, so the next drawer is this one right here. This is my brows and concealer. I always keep those two in the same drawer. So this is kind of what we were working with. Lots of concealer options. Let's go ahead and see what I'm going to use today. Okay, I'm gonna scroll through the responses and... Okay, so Caitlin Sanders says the Tarte Brow Gel. So I'm gonna grab that, and that's what we will use to set the brows at the end. Let me find a concealer and a brow pencil. Oh, perfect. Okay, 80s Love Child says Hourglass Brows and Charlotte Tilbury Concealer. So I'm gonna use the Hourglass Brow Pencil, Charlotte Tilbury Concealer, and then the Tarte Brow Gel to set. Perfect, that made things easy. I will be right back with those 2 products. I have returned with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Concealer, the Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil, and then the Tarte Busy Gal Brows Gel. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the brows. I'm going to kind of do this off camera because it takes me a while and it's probably not the most interesting, so I'll be right back. Okay, so there are the brows for now. This is the lighter shade that I own. This is in the shade Soft Brown, which is definitely a little bit more soft than what I normally use, but I couldn't find my other shade, so this will do. I'm going to go ahead and prep the eyes with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Concealer, and we'll also use this on the face later. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of that to the eyelids. And depending on which eyeshadow palette I end up using, I might choose my setting powder, just kind of depending on if I want to set the eyelids before I go in, or if the eyeshadow palette has like a good base shade, I won't worry about it. But I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. This is the new Hourglass concealer brush, and it's like perfectly shaped for not only the under eyes, but also for concealing the eyelid. I'm going to take what's left on the brush and just kind of get in this portion here, and also a little bit between the brows, because sometimes that's a little difficult to get to after we've got eyeshadow and foundation on, so I'm just going to blend it out all over. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit on my Instagram stories to the eyeshadow palette section. Now, it took me 3 slides to show you guys as much as I possibly could when it came to eyeshadows. I just have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, so... Okay, so here's the last drawer. This is the slide where you guys were able to enter the eyeshadow palettes that you saw. So I'm gonna open the responses. This is so fun because it's seriously like the biggest surprise to me, which is really fun. Okay, Han Baylor says the Soft Glam palette. I love Soft Glam, and it's been so long since I've used it. Okay, I'm gonna go grab that palette. All right, here we go. We've got the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. I feel like this palette is, oh gosh, one of my favorites. And I feel like a lot of you guys have said that you have it. If you don't, I'm sure you have similar colors in your collection, so maybe you can follow along if you want to. Tempera is a great base shade. So I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna kind of pat out the creases before I go in and set the entire eye with this eyeshadow. Okay, once that color is all over, let's see here. I'm gonna take orange soda, and I'm actually just gonna use that same brush because I'm a little bit lazy that way. Like I don't know, I use the same brush for as many things as possible. Hopefully I'm not the only one who does that. I'm gonna use this as the transition shade. Okay, same thing on this eye. Okay, I'm taking another brush and dipping into burnt orange. I'm gonna tap off the extra, and I'm gonna use this to kind of deepen up the crease a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna take that same brush, and I'm gonna dip into sienna, which is kind of a warm brown. And I'm wanting to use this to kind of deepen up the outer portion of the top lid. So I'm just kind of packing it right here on this outer third. And then once there's less on the brush, I'm going to bring it into the crease to deepen that up even more. Same thing on this side. I'm going back into the brush we were using with the other two shades, and I'm just kind of buffing that on the edges. I'm going to take a bit more of orange soda, which is the shade we used as a transition. And I'm going to kind of bring that up higher than where I initially had it, and blend it into the edges just so that there's like a seamless gradient up toward the brow. All right, next I'm gonna go into Sultry, which is a really pretty bronzy plum color. I'm gonna tap off the extra, and I'm gonna start to build this up on the eyelid. I kind of had a lot of fallout with that shade, but that's all right. That's why we were doing the eyes first. I'm gonna try to build it up in a little bit of a lighter layer on the other eye to try to avoid some of that fallout. Some of the shades are so soft that they can kind of be a little bit crumbly if you're not careful, so just gotta be a little more careful with this shade. All right, I'm going back in with the brush that we used with the transition shade. I'm just kind of buffing the edges in this inner portion here, just to make sure that's softened. I'm also gonna take a tiny bit of rose pink. I'm gonna apply that in the inner third of the eye right here, just to brighten that up slightly. Okay, next I'm gonna take an angled brush, and I'm gonna dip into the matte black called Noir. And I'm gonna use this black eyeshadow. I didn't wet the brush or anything, but I'm gonna kind of use it as a bit of a soft eyeliner. And I'm actually wanting to layer a little bit of mulberry, which is like a really pretty, almost burgundy. And I want to layer that on top just to kind of soften it a little bit and to create a little bit more dimension with those two colors layered on top of each other. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick out an eyeliner and a mascara. Here is my eyeliner and mascara drawer. It is also not organized. I really need to go through all my makeup. I haven't had a chance to yet this year, and it's definitely one of my biggest goals, so I'll get there one day. All right, let's scroll through. I'm gonna stay towards the top really quick, and okay, NARS Climax Mascara was recommended by Ellen. I will put her right here. I don't really know how to pronounce that username. Okay, I scrolled down to the closest eyeliner suggestion, and Natalie Hagedorn suggested that I use the Marc Jacobs eyeliner. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab those two things, the NARS mascara and the Marc Jacobs eyeliner. Okay, so here is the Marc Jacobs, what's this called exactly? Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Brownie. I'm just gonna kind of line the eyes really closely to the lash line, all the way across. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascara. I'm just gonna do it now, and then I'm gonna clean up the fallout after. So I'm just gonna take my NARS Climax mascara, and I'm gonna really try to build up the volume with this mascara, just because the eyeshadow colors are a bit darker, and so is that wing. So I wanna make sure that there's a nice distinction between my lashes and the eyeshadow behind it. Okay, next I'm going to take a makeup wipe and just make sure that the eyeshadow that fell down underneath the eyes is wiped away before we go into complexion. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Matte Primer, just kind of in this area here since I had to wipe away a lot of fallout there. All right, next up we are going to choose a foundation. Let me find the foundation. Okay, so here is my foundation drawer. I have quite a few foundations as well. Let's go ahead and see what you guys want me to use. Okay, I'm gonna scroll and... Okay, this is a long username, but once upon a time children's bouts, said the Shiseido foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. Now the Shiseido foundation is a little bit dark for me. Since I'm wearing a turtleneck, I'm just gonna work with it, you know? So I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I've got the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. Now, I have worn this a couple of times. I haven't reached for it as much as I would like to, though, because of the shade, but we're just going to make it work today. So this is the shade 240 Quartz, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this all over the face. I'm using a brush initially. The shade's not too far off, but it's just enough to where I can kind of tell a difference down my neck a little bit. But again, that's the beauty of wearing a turtleneck, am I right? Okay, I'm just applying this all over with a brush first. All right, I've got my sponge. I'm gonna take what's left on the back of my hand and just kind of press out any of the brush lines. It really is a beautiful foundation. All right, we're gonna move into concealer again. So I'm gonna take the darker shade that I have of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Concealer, which is the concealer we chose earlier. And this actually might work all over the face because of the color of foundation, so I'm actually just going to use this same exact shade underneath the eyes. I'm kind of going extra glam with this look. I'm going to go down the center of the nose, Cupid's bow, and I like to brighten up the smile lines a little bit these days, and also a bit on the forehead right here. Okay, I'm going to take the same sponge and just blend all of that out on the entire face. You guys, I seriously love filming these videos where you guys choose products or suggest products to me. But especially these ones where like I'm able to shop my stash, because it's so refreshing to have an opportunity to just try out or reuse the stuff that I already have. And I'm hoping that it inspires you guys to just enjoy what you have at home. Even if like you don't have the exact same products that I'm using today, you know, I just hope that it inspires you guys to not always have to be so concerned about the latest and greatest launches. And it just shows you that we've already purchased, I mean, I guess I should speak for myself. I've already purchased or have been gifted so much makeup, and sometimes it's fun to just enjoy things even if they launched last year or even if they launched 2 years ago. It's fun to get re-inspired by what you already have. Okay, things are looking very nice. That combo is very nice. That's what's fun about this video too, is like I've never ever paired these two together. So there really are so many things you can still do with the makeup that you have. Maybe you haven't tried a certain foundation with a certain concealer or a certain technique with the products that you have. And so this combo is new for me and I really, really like it. Okay, I think I'm gonna pick powder and bronzer because recently I've been trying out not setting my entire face, which is insane for me to say because I always set my entire face. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick a bronzer and a powder all at once because depending on whether I land on a cream bronzer or not, that will kind of help me determine what step I need to do next. So let's go ahead and do the powder first. I have a thing for high-end powders. I don't know why I have this many, but for some reason I always like to purchase high-end powders. I don't know. Maybe it's because I love powder so much and I set my entire face, usually, except for recently. All right, I'm opening the responses. We're gonna scroll down. I'm gonna scroll a little bit further than where I normally do, and okay, Fanny, I don't know how to say her last name. Carrotsthis? Oh no. I'm sorry if I botched that. But she wanted me to use the Fenty powder in the shade Butter. I'm looking at responses all surrounding hers and so many people said Fenty Butter. Okay, I'm happy to use it because honestly, I haven't used it in so long. So I will definitely grab that. Let's move on to bronzers really quickly before I go grab those. Here's my bronzer drawer. I also have a thing for bronzers. I guess I have a thing for all things makeup. You know, I just love it all. Even though all my bronzers kind of look the same, they're all different. You know what I mean? All right, let's go through the responses. I'm going to take one from the top. Okay, Hannah Calhoun 19 said the Clinique bronzer, which is a powder bronzer. So I'm going to go ahead and grab both those things and I'll be right back. You know what I just realized is so many people said Fenty Butter. How did you guys know that I had this shade Butter? Because the shade was not showing, so you guys are just that good, I guess. Okay, and then here is the Clinique bronzer. This is the True Bronzer in the shade 02 Sunkissed. Here's what it looks like. I'm excited to use this again. I remember really enjoying it, but it's been a while since I've used it. So let's look at the face. I kind of want to use my Blendiful for this. Hold on. All right, I grabbed my Tati Beauty Blendiful and I'm going to bend it in half and I'm going to take some of the Fenty Beauty Butter Powder and I'm going to use this to kind of press and set the under eye area. So I'm just going to go ahead and dab it on top of the concealer. I kind of want a more airbrushed T-zone. So I'm going to use this powder all through the T-zone, and then I don't think I'm going to set the outer portions of the face, but I'll go in with bronzer after. Okay, I'm kind of pressing and rolling the powder into the skin. I'm going to set the sides of the nose. I'm also taking like the edge and setting the very center of the nose. I'm also going to get the center of the forehead. Okay, I am taking what's left on the puff and just kind of setting the jawline. And then I'm going to take a fluffy powder brush and just dust away the excess powder around the nose. Okay, let's go ahead and bronze up the face with the Clinique bronzer. I'm just going to take this. Ooh, I forgot how pigmented this is. I'm just going to kind of layer this up lightly, or try to be a little bit lighter handed. I guess maybe because I didn't set the face either, it might have a little bit more of a grip on the skin, so I need to be a little more careful. But I'm just going to go ahead and warm up the complexion. Okay, I'm going to take a bit of the powder brush and just kind of try to blend in the edges a little bit. I'm using more of a stamping motion versus like buffing, just because some of the areas are a little bit unpowdered. Okay, we're kind of going back and forth. I'm gonna hop back into the eyes really quick. Starting off with orange soda again. I'm gonna take this on a fluffy brush and I'm going to apply it to the lower lash line as a transition shade on the lower lashes. And I'm gonna buff this down pretty far. Next, I'm going into burnt orange and a little bit of sienna. I'm just gonna mix the two. And I'm going to start to define the lower lash line even more. I'm going pretty close to the lower lashes right here with these two colors because I really want to kind of have a nice sultry smoked out lower lash line. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of the sultry shade, which was this kind of smoky rosy bronze. I'm going to make sure to tap off the extra because this one does have a bit of fallout. And I'm just going to really buff that kind of towards the center of the lower lash line, right about here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of rose pink. Tap off the extra with that as well. And I'm going to put this in the inner third of that lower lash line just to kind of brighten it a little bit. And I'm going to blend it on top of the existing shade right here. All right, going back in with the brush we used with the orange soda shade, and I'm just buffing things down a little bit. I'm going to dip into a little more of orange soda just to really make sure the lower lash line is super diffused and blended. I'm actually going to use that Marc Jacobs eyeliner. Again, it's in the shade Brownie, and I'm going to put this in the waterline. I just really like that warm brown. I feel like it complements the look. Okay, now that that eyeliner is in the waterline, I'm going to go back into Mulberry. I'm just taking the same brush I used on the top, so if there's a little bit of black shadow in this, it's okay. But I just feel like I need a little bit of that Mulberry shade right here on the outer third, kind of connecting to that wing, just for the harsher waterline to make sense and to flow seamlessly into the rest of the makeup on the lower lash line. Okay, next I'm going to apply lower lash mascara. I'm just going to use the same NARS Climax mascara. Okay, now that the eyes are done, I'm just going to brush up and retouch the brows really quickly using that same Hourglass brow pencil. You know what's crazy is this eyeshadow ended up matching my outfit like perfectly, which obviously was not planned because I had no idea what makeup look I was going to do today, but it worked out very nicely. I am not complaining. Okay, this is where things could get interesting with like the blush and the lipstick color. Hopefully everything matches still, and I will do my best to make it look as good as possible by the end of this. Okay, let's pick out highlighter and blush. All right, let's see here. Okay, here is my blush drawer. I love blushes. I love blush. It's my favorite. It's all my favorite. I honestly like can't choose between anything. Okay, let's scroll through the blush options. Okay, Dead But Still Pretty says the Kosas blush. So I have a couple options there. Two of them are creams. One of them is a powder. So I'm gonna grab all three and we can decide which one we want to use. So that's what we will do for that. Here is my highlighter drawer. I also love highlighters. Okay, let's pick a highlighter really quickly. I am going to stay closer to the top for this one, and boop. Okay, Neon in the North says Becca or Charlotte Tilbury. So she sounds like me and sounds indecisive. Maybe, what if we layered them? Because sometimes when you can't decide, you just gotta mix the makeup. So I will be right back with all those products. All right, let's start off with blushes. So here is the powder blush. It's a blush highlighter duo, okay? But we're just gonna say it's a blush, that's where I keep it. So this color might be beautiful. This is the powder blush, and I feel like that might work really nicely with the eye look. We have this cream one, and this is in the shade 8th Muse. This is more of like a berry tone, which is also pretty. That could also work. And then we have Velvet Melon. I love the names of these. This is definitely more of a peach. So what do we do? Let's see here. Okay, I'm kind of torn between the peach and then the powder one. By the way, this shade is Contra Chroma. They're kind of similar, but the finishes are obviously different. So what if I layer them? Okay, I'm gonna do that. Why not? I'm gonna start off with this blush shade right here. This is the powder, and I'm gonna smile and kind of apply that toward the back of the cheeks. Okay, just to kind of create a little bit of a peachy something there. And then I'm gonna take a bit of the peachy cream shade, and I'm gonna take the bottom of my sponge, and I'm just going to lightly press that more on like the apples of the cheeks and a little bit higher. It seems to be layering on top of powders nicely. Okay, I really like that. For highlighter, the only Charlotte Tilbury highlighter that I had in that drawer was this one right here. This is the Bar of Gold. I love this highlighter. It is a bit pricey because it's Charlotte Tilbury, but you get 3 colors in here, which is really nice. So you have like a more champagne color, a pink, and then more of a bronze. And then I also grabbed one of my favorite Becca highlighters that I haven't used in a very long time. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Vanilla Quartz. It has a little bit of a pinky undertone to it. So, let's see. I know what I'll do. I'm going to layer these as well. I'm going to take the center shade, which is more of that pinky tone. This is stunning, by the way. And I'm going to first layer that more pinky tone a little bit all over the cheeks and a little bit more of a larger area, of course, around the brow. I'm just going to keep that on the cheeks. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Vanilla Quartz. And this is where I'm going to just kind of pinpoint certain areas on the face. So just right about there. I'm also going to use Vanilla Quartz down the center of the face. So center of the nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit above the brows. Okay, just to make sure everything blends in nicely, I'm going to go over that with my sponge gently, just to kind of press everything down into the skin. All right, next up we have lip liners. Here are my lip liners. I keep a lot of them right here on my filming desk because I just love lip colors, so I like to have a lot of options sitting in front of me. Let's go ahead and choose. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scroll as usual, and this one. Okay, Makeup by TK says the Thrive lip liner. Okay, I have a couple that I really, really like from Thrive. 2 come to mind with this specific makeup look. So my most used Thrive lip liners are Gislon, which is a gorgeous kind of a mauve tone, which might look amazing. And then Jessie is a really beautiful light pink that kind of washes out my lips in the best way. It's not too light to where I look completely washed out, but it's just enough. So maybe I will choose a lipstick next, then that will help me choose the lip liner color. So it took me 2 slides to show you the majority of my lipsticks. I still have a lot more lipsticks, believe it or not, which is crazy. Lipsticks are something that I collect more than anything. I really need to go through them and like be honest with myself and only keep the ones that I really, really use all the time. So anyway, here is my very messy lipstick drawer. But I also had some lipstick sets that I shared with you guys that came in PR. So we'll see if somebody picks one from one of those or if it's from the drawer. So let's go ahead and scroll. I'm gonna go more toward the bottom for this one. Okay, I've been scrolling for a while now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, okay, so John McPurr said the new Bare Minerals. So I didn't actually have those in the drawer, but maybe you watched my Instagram story earlier and Bare Minerals did just launch new lipsticks. And since I landed on that one, I will go ahead and grab the PR box and we can see if there's a certain color that I feel like might work well with this look. All right, so here it is, the new collection. Oh, it looks like this. These actually smell really good. There's a ton of good shades in here. I almost feel like a more beigey nude might be good with this. This is called Balance, and I'm thinking it might pair well. Yeah, that's a really good one. Okay, I'm thinking it might pair well with the Gislon, which is the more mauve. So we can kind of get a little bit of a mauve beige color. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe off any foundation that got on the lips. I'm gonna go with the Thrive Cosmetics Lip Filler Lip Liner, again in the shade Gislon. And I'm going to line and fill in the lips with this. Okay, so there's Gislon all over the lips. It's a pretty true mauve color. I'm gonna go ahead and try out the Bare Minerals Mineralist lipsticks, and I'm gonna be using the shade Balance. And I'm just gonna layer this right on top of that lip liner, and I'm just gonna go all the way across the lips with this. Okay, now I'm focusing it a little bit more in the center, and then I feel like I need to fix the lip lines a little bit. So I'm going back in with the lip liner just to kind of deepen that up on the outer corners. Okay, yeah, I really like how that color or those colors look together. Part of me is feeling like a lip gloss, so I'm gonna go back through some of these responses. I'm just gonna keep scrolling and let's see if we land on a lip gloss. Okay. Okay, there is a gloss on this page. I didn't land on a gloss, but Sayla_RM said the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. I think that would be a nice little topper. And I actually think I have that on my desk. I do. Okay, that's gonna be perfect. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply a teensy bit of Fussy gloss, mostly to the center of the lips. All right, last but not least, you guys, we have setting spray. Let's see what setting spray we're going to use today. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll through. I'm gonna go kind of toward the middle this time. And this one. All right, Miriam Hermasi said MAC Fix Plus. That's a good classic. So that's what I'm going to use. Then I'm gonna go ahead and set the brows with the brow gel we picked earlier. And then I also realized I need to do an inner corner highlight. So we're almost done. Alrighty folks, let's take some MAC Fix Plus. You can tell how much I really love this. I'm just gonna go ahead and spray the face. Oh, I found my handy fan. It's been a minute. I'm just gonna let that dry a little bit. I'm gonna take my sponge and just kind of press everything back into the skin. I just realized I didn't assess the situation before I set the face. What the heck? I totally spaced it. But I think things look pretty good, so hopefully we're all right. I probably would have added more bronzer, but what can you do? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set the brows with the Busy Gal brows from Tarte. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to put a little bit of the highlighter in here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold palette. I'm going to take the pink highlighter and I'm going to use that as my inner corner highlight. I just feel like it will really help to tie in some of those more mauvey burgundy tones on the eyes. And I'm going to take what's left and apply it underneath the brows. All right, you guys, so this is the final look. Thank you so much for helping me shop my stash today. I had so much fun with this video. I really enjoy this style of video. If you guys do too, let me know, because since I already collected all of your responses, both drugstore and high-end, it would be really easy for me to do a part 2 of either drugstore or high-end or both, depending on what you guys want to see, and only if you guys want to see it. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see more of these types of videos, or if you have another suggestion for me, please let me know in the comments as well, because I always want to make sure I'm making content that you all want to see. I love how the look turned out. I feel like it matches my shirt perfectly, which is crazy. And yeah, I had so much fun. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are. I'll see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye.